Hello friends, it's Andy here. As a lot of you know, I'm in Hawaii right now and trying to just document my trip. I brought my drone. I've dreamed of having my drone out here in Hawaii for years, so this is, oh man. Let's see, I've got a couple of GoPros, my phone, which is what I'm recording on now. Kind of bouncing between all of them, seeing how the audio quality is. I think I'm going to mostly be using my phone. The GoPro's kind of iffy, but let's see. Let's start it off. And I've been kind of trying to figure out how I'm going to do these videos. And I think a lot of it, especially with like drone footage, I'm going to narrate it from here, or I'm going to narrate it from down here. Because there's no sound during the drone footage, and I could just play music, but sometimes stuff needs explaining. This video's very good for you if you like coffee. We've got my sister takes over to Kona something coffee. We'll figure it out here in a minute. But without further ado, let's get on into it. So we start off the trip with the obligatory Lucifer, and we've got a few shots from the plane just because, you know, that's what people do. Our first stop was Kua Bay, and here's the beginning of it. So here we are on our first date. Look how white. Pages to Allie. I'm super white too. But I
have to run in.
What beaches is
I want to run in. Kua Bay.
Kua Bay.
Kua Bay.
Paige is gonna run in. She stopped running in for a second. But I'm gonna get the drone up and get some good video. This first day, I learned that when you take your drone through an X-ray, it messes up the magnets. So this first stop, the drone kept popping an error, a compass error, and I took it off once and it didn't stay put, so brought it down immediately. So we didn't have drone for this first time. But after this, we get to the coffee plantation next, and I calibrate it and we're good to go. So we'll finish up the Kua Bay. We just have some fun in the water, and then I'll see you back at the coffee plantation.
Oh wait, this one's better. This one's better. Ready, Paige?
Here we go. All right, next stop is Kona Direct Coffee. This is a coffee farm, sorry, not a plantation, coffee farm that my sister used to work on. And just here's some fantastic shots I got. Just thought it was super cool. Just absolute beautiful area. They're up above Kona. There's just like a certain area where elevation where you can grow Kona coffee for it to be considered like true Kona coffee. Another big district on the island is Kau coffee, which a lot of people say is just as or better, but these guys have absolutely spectacular coffee, and I hope you like the shots of the place. And really, I'm just going to let my sister tell you how to make coffee. Here she is.
Hi, I'm Alexa. So we have come to Kona Farm Direct, which is a coffee farm that I used to work at. Leslie, who's hiding over there, is one of the owners, along with Craig, and they are two of the most amazing coffee geniuses in the world. And I've gotten the pleasure to do everything of coffee. Yeah. Oh, so we're gonna walk you through. This tree that we're in front of right now that we're just so amazed about are Liberican trees. And you can see these are little coffee beans. When they're ready to pluck, it's called a coffee cherry. They actually turn red, and they look just like a little cherry. And that's what a coffee bean looks like on a tree. Right.
Now, what are these blossoms?
The blossoms? Well, the blossoms aren't on these. It'll actually look like a tree is covered in snow and the little.
Well, she said this one has blossoms. There's blossoms there, yeah.
They're there. Yeah, here we go. Here, this is what. Yeah, check this out. So this are the blossoms. Coffee trees are self-pollinating, so they don't need any help anymore. And then the blossoms will pop off, and all the little flowers turn into little coffee beans.
Ooh.
Oh, we're going this way. We're going this way. What's over here? Look at that. Look at that. I'm gonna crush one of these bad boys.
Is that a ripe coffee bean?
So this is what you want when you pluck, when you come over. When you pick coffee, you have to hand pick coffee because not all the beans will be ripe at the same time. So to get the best yield out of each tree, you're gonna wanna hand pick them, and this is what they want to look like. So I can actually squeeze out.
Oh wow!
And a little split in half right there. You got two little beans, and you can eat these. Suck. And they're super sweet, very very sweet. Paige, what's the tea called that you use this?
Cascara tea.
Cascara tea. You can use.
Have Paige try one of those.
Hey Paige, you want to eat another one? Yeah. Sit over there. I'm gonna eat. You just suck on them for a little bit. Spit them out. So from here, you can do two things with this. You can put it through what's called a pulper, and that'll take off this little goopy shell off of it. Dry it out, and then roast it and drink it. Or you can take it and replant it, and grow more trees to have more coffee.
The rest of this plantation. They're doing a bunch of work over here, but they've got more trees up over this way. They've got a bunch that are over here. And Allie, are you gonna take us to go see the nursery now?
I am gonna take you to see the nursery.
Sweet.
Yeah. This little station right here looks like absolutely nothing right now, but I have spent hours hunched over this, picking out good bean, bad bean, good bean, bad bean. This is where we're gonna start our regrowing. This farm isn't really for making coffee to drink per se. They do that in small portions, but
you said doo-doo.
But what Craig really specializes in is growing coffee trees. So if you look right over here, there's thousands of trees that are keiki or baby trees that he will sell to other farms around the island.
So these ones aren't going to be planted?
Not on this farm.
Okay.
These are all to be sold.
How old are these trees, would you say?
These trees are about 2 or 3 years old. These are all ready to go on the ground.
Cool.
These are Guatemalan. That G right there. So actually, here we go. These are 2 years old. These were planted 11/2 of 18.
Awesome. Oh man, it looks like a giant forest if you like really get in here.
Now, come on over here. Okay. So, we've moved on from our sorting station of our good bean and our bad bean. Once we pick out all the good beans, we will lay them in trays with the split end down. And we'll bring them over, cover them in a fertilizer, and they sit in these little incubator trays for a few months. The beans will start to sprout out, and we're going to come over here to some young babies. As they start to sprout out of the fertilizer, you can see they still have their little bean top there, and their true leaves. These are the first leaves that sprout out of the bean, will start to emerge. Then as they grow up, you're going to start getting your actual coffee beans. And this is what we specialize in here, is we graft the tree. What that means is we take this type of tree right here. This is, the L indicates that this is a Liberican tree. Liberican trees have a very, very strong root system. Not the best coffee in the world, but wonderful roots. So we'll take their roots, and then we'll take This is a mocha style tree. We will take a better tasting, more delicious, smooth coffee and take the top of it, put it on the roots. So we literally cut the trees in half and we clip them back together with little tiny clips.
Oh my gosh.
Once they're clipped, we'll put them in more little incubator tubs to keep them nice and safe as their wounds heal. And a few months later, they'll continue to grow and the two trees will have formed one.
And these are then clipped. So this is like where they're clipped here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
So
put together.
one of the things that may happen,
Wild bananas.
you can see here, if you look closely at this one, there's other pieces of the roots trying to form over this root. So we'll actually go in with the tiny razor blade and cut off all those little roots that start to
Oh
form.
my gosh. Sounds very intricate.
It is fun. It is fun. I have spent many hours. On this farm, I have personally planted 64,000 trees.
Oh my
The
gosh.
roots of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's go over here and see what Paige is getting into.
Bananas.
Bananas!
And I found what they do with all their things.
Oh. That's a lot of what is this called? Just cherry?
The cherry pulp.
Cherry pulp?
Yeah. So this is actually right here.
Some bananas.
Once we pick the beans off the trees, we'll throw all of our picking, sometimes, usually at the least 100 pounds of beans, and we throw them into this little bit here. Then we turn on this little machine and it rotates and carries the beans up here. This is a water hose, so it's being pumped with water. And as it goes over into this machine, this is the pulper. So it'll squeeze that skin off of the bean. The beans go through here and they get spit out. We'll have a big tub to catch them there, and all the pulp you can see gets thrown out over there.
Wow.
In this section, you can see that slimy coating gets rinsed off the more you pulp it.
Look at all those spider webs.
Clean the bean. You clean the bean.
Oh, yeah. And look at this mass of spider webs here. So many. Okay.
Remember that awesome guy Craig I was telling you about? This is the guy. And we're back. So let's say we decided to take our bean and drink it, right? It's gonna go into these big machines right here after it's been pulped. And these are basically like dryers for coffee beans. And they just dry them out. Down here, I don't know how well you can see it in a video, but this bean no longer has that.
Hold this page.
This bean no longer has that slimy coat on it, and it's been dried. So this is what we call green bean coffee, and this is what your coffee looks like before it gets roasted to whatever flavor you like. If we come up here, that's a small private yield for private roasting. When they yield a lot of coffee, this entire floor will be full of coffee beans. And they'll sit in here for a week or two to dry out. These are our rakes that will pull through and churn them up so they evenly dry out. Pretty fun. We'll rake through the coffee about 4 or 5 times a day when it's drying to keep it rotated nicely.
Cool. So what are you doing, Paige?
I'm grabbing coffee.
Why?
Because we're about to brew our own coffee.
About to what?
Roast.
Roast your own coffee? What?
want your coffee roast?
Yesterday's coffee.
Ooh, it's roasting Paige.
So what Paige just did was she just poured her green bean coffee.
Focus camera, there we go.
Inside
And then
our roaster, by opening this lever, she dropped all the coffee inside here. You can see just as she added the coffee, it dropped about 100 degrees in temperature. So we'll let this heat back up, and you can watch the coffee as it gets darker. But we're also listening for sound, because have you ever roasted popcorn?
Mm-hmm.
Coffee beans pop just like popcorn. So the end result will be twice the size.
That's cool.
So now we wait.
15 minutes.
And then cut. If you listen really closely, you can hear the pops. It's actually going to pop twice. This is the first crack.
Focus. There we go. That's so cool.
It smells so good right now.
Oh yeah. So
You're
this one
offended.
will not see the second crack because we're going to medium.
Oh, yes. We're doing a medium roast. So dark roast, you're going to want it to pop twice, crack twice. This one, not so much.
So we're going to 390 for this roast. What do you go to for a dark roast?
It'll be over 400.
Over 400?
About 410. So what we're going to do is turn off the flame at 380.
Okay.
And we'll take the dial and put it to blower on.
So we're turning the flame off now.
The blower on. The dial goes for the blower on. Here you go.
And we're going to turn the agitator on. Oh my god, the anticipation.
Ooh!
You gotta smell that. Smell that.
That smells so good.
So now what? Do I close this?
Here's the size difference of your green bean to your roasted bean.
Wow.
Popped up, it's thicker.
Cool.
Now it's time to enjoy your cup of coffee. Kona Farm Direct.
I'm trying to...
That is so good.
It's good
So
coffee.
normally on the mainland, I have to spice up my coffee a lot. I need a lot of sugar, a lot of creamer just to make it taste like decent.
Right?
But here, you can literally drink it black and it's amazing.
Yeah. Isn't like who knew coffee tasted so good?
Alright, our next stop was the harbor where my sister's boat goes out of. We were looking for sharks here. Here you can see a bait ball cruising around the water. Then we've got a catamaran. We didn't see any sharks, so we found my buddy's boat out on the water and decided that we would cruise out to him and go buzz him. He's the little teeny tiny one up there. We get out closer and just kind of cruise around him, say hi real quick, then yeah, off to our next stop. And the harbor was just so beautiful. There was so many cool things, like this dude up here on, I'm not even 100% sure what that thing's called. I call it a Hawaiian canoe. So I was really bummed that we couldn't get the drone up at Kua Bay, so we went back for sunset. This was Paige's first Hawaiian sunset, which was super cool. She got to see a green flash, which if you don't know what that is, it's really rare to really see. And right as the sun sets, conditions have to be perfect. There's no clouds or anything like that. And right as the tippity top of the sun goes below the horizon, there's a little green dot. And Paige got to see that for her first sunset. It took me probably 3 years of coming out here to finally see that. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you want more, I will be doing one of these every day. I might combine a couple of days depending on what we do. But yeah, I will see you tomorrow. Well, I'll see you whenever I get around to editing more video because it's jam-packed while we're out here. Have a good one, guys.